Hello students, welcome to Capman Academy, and today we are going to talk about the differences between Newtonian and non-Newtonian fluids, right? So first difference is their definition. So as we know that Newtonian fluids are the one which actually have a constant viscosity and zero shear rate at zero shear stress, whereas non-Newtonian fluids are the one which have a variable viscosity and a variable relationship with the shear stress. So in these type of fluids, the viscosity here, it changes, right, with the shear stress. If we talk about the viscosity, which is a very important parameter of the fluids, in case of Newtonian fluid, it remains constant, it does not change. In case of the non-Newtonian fluids, it is variable, which we already covered in the definition. Right? If we talk about shear rate and shear stress in the Newtonian and non-Newtonian fluids, then they has a zero shear rate at zero shear stress, right? Whereas in case of the non-Newtonian fluids, they has a variable relationship with the shear stress. So they vary with the shear stress, right? Another difference is the example. So very good known example of the Newtonian fluids is your water and air, because they do not change because their viscosity does not change under the shear rate or shear stress, right? Whereas if we talk about salt, molten polymer, blood, toothpaste, paint, cornstarch mixture, and many other variety of fluids, so they actually changes the viscosity as the shear stress around them changes, right? So these are the main differences between the Newtonian and non-Newtonian fluids. Another important aspect of the fluid, especially the non-Newtonian fluid, is their time dependency. So there are some of the non-Newtonian fluids which are time dependent and some fluids are time independent. So the one which are time independent are your dilatant fluids, Bingham fluids and pseudoplastic fluids. Whereas the time dependent fluids are your thioexotropic fluid and rheopectic fluids, right? Another important aspect is their type of behavior under certain shear stress or time, right? So if we talk about thioexotropic non-Newtonian fluids, so their viscosity decreases with the stress over time, right? And the very good example is your honey. Another type of the non-Newtonian are your rheopectic fluids. So in that case, the viscosity increases with the stress over time, right? And in this case, the example is cream. The longer you whip it, the thicker it gets, right? Another type of the non-Newtonian fluids is the shear thinning. So in this case, viscosity decreases with the increased shear stress. And the good example for them is the tomato sauce. And if we talk about another non-Newtonian fluids which are dilatant or shear thickening fluids, they are the one which have increased viscosity with the increased shear stress, right? And the good example here is the oobleck, which is a mixture of corn flour and the water, right? So these are the some important aspects you should know about the Newtonian and non-Newtonian fluids. So that's all for the today. Thank you.